Imagine this. You're at your granddaughter's birthday party. The room is full of laughter, balloons, and the smell of cake. She runs up to you, grabs your hand, and says, "Grandpa, come dance with me," but as you try to stand, your legs feel heavy, your balance unsteady, and instead of joining her, you stay seated, forcing a smile while your heart sinks. That single moment, missing out because your legs can't keep up, can feel more painful than any ache or stiffness. The truth is, moments like these happen every day. Weak legs don't just make it harder to move. They steal little pieces of joy, independence, and connection. But here's the part most people don't realize. It doesn't take hours at the gym or fancy equipment to turn things around. With just 7 simple moves done right at home, you can rebuild strength, protect your balance, and step confidently into the moments that matter most. So, let me ask you, have you ever skipped doing something you loved because your legs felt too weak? Comment 1 if you're determined to stay strong, or 0 if you've already felt those limits creeping in. I promise I'll read and reply to every single comment because your story is important. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to Dr. Morrison's channel. What you'll learn here could mean the difference between sitting on the sidelines or standing tall in life's most precious moments. Now, let's begin with the first powerful move. The simple act of sitting down and standing back up is something we all take for granted until it becomes a struggle. Scientists call this the sit-o-stand test, and it is actually one of the strongest predictors of independence in older adults. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that difficulty rising from a chair is linked to a higher risk of falls and even early nursing home placement. The reason is clear. This single movement activates the quadriceps in the front of your thighs, the glutes in your hips, and the core muscles that keep you upright. When these muscles weaken, every daily activity, getting out of bed, using the bathroom, or standing from the dinner table becomes harder and riskier. Let me share a story. Harold, 76 years old, a former mechanic, came to me frustrated. He could still drive, still enjoy Sunday barbecues, but getting up from his recliner had turned into a 2-step battle. Push with his arms, rock forward, then hope his legs would catch him. "Doc," he laughed nervously, "I feel like my chair is winning." We started him on chair squats. No weights, no machines, just slow and steady practice from his living room chair. Within 6 weeks, Harold told me something that made us both smile. He could rise from the chair without grabbing the armrests. "It feels like I got my legs back," he said. "Here's how you can try it at home. Choose a sturdy chair. Place your feet flat on the ground. Cross your arms over your chest and slowly lower yourself down until you are seated. Then stand up again using only your legs. Start with 5 repetitions and work your way up to 10 if it feels too challenging. You can keep your hands lightly on your thighs for support at first. This simple habit done daily does not just strengthen your legs. It rebuilds confidence because each time you rise, you are not just standing up from a chair. You are standing up for your independence. And here is the surprising part. What you will discover in the next move is that strength is not only about your thighs or hips. Sometimes the smallest muscles, the ones you rarely think about, can make the biggest difference in keeping you safe on your feet. When you think about strong legs, most people picture the thighs or hips. But the muscles in your calves, the gastrumus and soleus, are just as important. These small but powerful muscles push you forward every time you walk, help pump blood back toward your heart, and keep your balance when you stand. Research from the Journal of Gerontology shows that calf weakness is directly linked to slower walking speed and a higher chance of falls in older adults. In fact, weak calves can make you feel unsteady even when standing still. Let me introduce you to Martha, 72 years old, a retired librarian. She loved gardening, but lately she noticed her ankles felt wobbly, especially when she tried to reach for a book on the top shelf or walk on uneven ground. "It feels like my feet are betraying me," she admitted. We began with simple heel raises, standing behind a sturdy chair, gently lifting her heels until she was on her toes, holding for a moment, then lowering back. After just 4 weeks, she told me she felt steadier and she even had the confidence to return to her garden without fear of stumbling on loose soil. "It is amazing," she smiled, "how something so simple gave me back my confidence. You can try this too. Stand behind a chair. Place your hands lightly on the backrest for balance. Then slowly lift your heels until you are standing on your toes. Hold 4 seconds. Then lower your heels back to the ground. Start with 10 repetitions and increase as you get stronger. If you want to challenge yourself further, try it with 1 foot at a time. The beauty of this exercise is not just in stronger calves. It improves circulation, steadies your balance, and reduces that sudden dizzy feeling when you get up too quickly. And as you will see in the next move, once you combine strength with the natural action of climbing, you unlock a power that mirrors one of life's most essential daily challenges. Every day, whether it is walking up the porch, entering a bus, or simply reaching a curb, you are essentially doing a step up. This movement may seem ordinary, yet it is one of the most complete exercises for your legs. It strengthens the quadriceps in the front of your thighs, the hamstrings behind, the glutes in your hips, and even the stabilizers in your ankles. A study in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine showed that older adults who practiced step-ups regularly improved their walking speed and reduced their risk of falls by nearly 30%. The reason is simple. This movement trains both strength and coordination in a way that mirrors real life. Here is how you can do it safely at home. Find a low, sturdy step or a secure platform no higher than 8 in. Place 1 foot firmly on the step. Press through your heel and lift your body up until both feet meet on top. Step back down slowly and repeat with the opposite leg. Begin with 10 repetitions, alternating legs, and build from there. Always use a railing or the back of a sturdy chair for balance if needed. The beauty of step-ups is that they prepare you for the movements you cannot avoid in daily life. Each repetition makes the simple act of climbing stairs less tiring and more secure, turning what once felt like an obstacle into something natural again. If you have ever felt your legs hesitate on a staircase, this exercise can restore that confidence. With regular practice, step-ups not only strengthen your legs but also improve endurance in your heart and lungs since the movement mimics light cardio. Many older adults who train this way notice they no longer feel winded after climbing a flight of stairs, and that renewed energy brings back the freedom to shop, visit friends, or simply enjoy a walk without fear of exhaustion. Before you try it, let me ask, do you feel strong when climbing stairs, or do you sometimes hold the rail a little tighter? Comment 1 if you feel steady or 0 if you have noticed some weakness. I read every response. And if you find these tips helpful, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the rest of the moves that can change the way you walk through life. Sometimes the simplest moves can have the greatest impact. Sitting on a chair and extending your legs forward may not look like much, but it directly targets the quadriceps, the large muscles in the front of your thighs. These muscles act like shock absorbers for your knees. Research from the Arthritis Foundation shows that strengthening the quadriceps reduces knee pain and improves stability, especially in older adults with arthritis. Weak quadriceps not only make it harder to stand or climb stairs, they also increase pressure on the knee joint, leading to stiffness and discomfort. Let me share a story. James, 75 years old, a retired carpenter, told me he missed taking evening walks with his wife because his knees ached after just a few steps. He feared it was just old age. When we tested his legs, it turned out his quadriceps were much weaker than expected. We began with seated leg extensions. At first, James struggled to straighten his legs fully, but he practiced faithfully each day. Within 2 months, he noticed something remarkable. He could walk twice as long without pain. And one evening, he proudly said, "I kept up with my wife for the first time in years." His smile was proof that small daily effort can lead to powerful change. You can practice this right now. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift one leg until it is straight out in front of you. Hold for 3 seconds, then lower it back down. Switch to the other leg and repeat. Begin with 5 repetitions per side and gradually increase. Focus on controlled movement, not speed, to fully engage the muscles. This exercise not only protects your knees, but also restores the confidence to move without hesitation. And just wait, because in the next move you will discover how strengthening your hips can completely change the way you balance with every step you take. When you walk, climb stairs, or simply stand on one foot to put on a shoe, the muscles around your hips and outer thighs quietly work to keep you stable. These muscles, especially the gluteus medius, are often overlooked, yet they are essential for balance and fall prevention. Studies published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy reveal that weakness in these hip muscles is strongly linked to unsteady gait and hip pain. By strengthening them, you improve not only your side-to-side stability, but also your overall confidence when moving. I remember Anna, 71 years old, a former school nurse who came to me worried about her frequent stumbles. "It feels like my legs want to cross each other when I walk," she explained. After a quick assessment, we found her hip muscles were weak, especially on the sides. We began side leg raises, standing tall behind a chair, lifting one leg out to the side, holding for a moment, then lowering slowly. At first, she could barely lift her leg a few inches, but she practiced every day. 6 weeks later, Anna shared something beautiful. She could walk across her church parking lot without that anxious wobble. "I feel safer in my own body," she said, her relief clear in her voice. You can start at home just like Anna. Stand tall behind a sturdy chair. Place your hands lightly on the backrest for balance and lift one leg out to the side without leaning forward or back. Hold 4 seconds, then bring it back down slowly. Repeat 10 times on each leg, keeping the movement smooth and controlled. As you grow stronger, try doing it without holding the chair. Side leg raises may look simple, but they build the hidden strength that protects you in unexpected moments, like when you trip on a rug or step off a curb. And what comes next will surprise you, because even a movement as small as tapping your toes can spark new energy in your legs and circulation. It may look like the smallest movement, but tapping your toes while seated can do wonders for circulation and nerve health. When you repeatedly lift and lower your toes, you activate the muscles in your shins and feet. These muscles play a key role in pumping blood upward, reducing swelling, and easing that heavy tingling feeling many older adults notice in their legs. Research from the American Heart Association shows that regular foot and ankle exercises can improve circulation by more than 20%. A powerful benefit for anyone at risk of diabetes or peripheral artery disease. Take Robert, 73 years old, a retired postman. He spent years walking long routes, but after retirement, he found himself sitting more and more. Soon his legs felt numb in the evenings, and he worried something serious was happening. We started with toe taps, just lifting the toes off the ground while keeping the heels down, alternating left and right. Within a month, Robert reported the tingling had eased, and he even noticed more spring in his step. "It is like my feet woke up again," he said with relief. You can try this right now while sitting in your chair. Place your feet flat on the ground. Then lift the front of one foot so your toes point upward. Tap them down and switch to the other side. Do this for 1 minute. Rest, then repeat. It is a simple rhythm, almost like keeping time with music. But behind that rhythm, your muscles and blood vessels are working hard to keep you healthy. Before you move on, let me ask you, do your legs feel light and energized, or do you sometimes notice heaviness and tingling? Comment 1 if they feel strong, or 0 if you have noticed those signs. I will be reading and responding. And if you find these tips valuable, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss the final exercise that ties it all together. Standing still on one leg may sound like child's play, but for older adults, it is one of the most powerful ways to train balance and prevent falls. Balance is not just about your legs. It is a full-body skill that involves the muscles of your core, the coordination of your eyes and inner ear, and the strength of the tiny stabilizers in your ankles. Research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine revealed that adults over 70 who could not stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a significantly higher risk of falls and even shorter life expectancy. That is how important this simple test and exercise can be. I think of Margaret, 78 years old, a retired choir singer who loved performing in her church but confessed she no longer felt safe walking up the steps to the stage. She feared one wrong move would send her tumbling. We began practicing the balance hold together. At first, she needed both hands on the back of a sturdy chair, lifting one foot just an inch off the ground. Over time, she progressed to holding the position for 15 seconds with only one hand lightly resting for support. After 3 months, Margaret proudly walked onto the stage again, steady and graceful, her confidence restored. "I never thought such a small exercise could give me back my courage," she said with tears in her eyes. "You can practice this right now. Stand tall behind a sturdy chair. Hold the backrest lightly and lift one foot off the ground. Keep your chest up, your shoulders relaxed, and your eyes fixed on a point ahead of you. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds, then switch sides. Repeat this 3 times on each leg. As you grow stronger, challenge yourself by removing one hand, then eventually both hands, always making sure you have support nearby just in case. This exercise may look quiet and simple, yet it trains your body for those unpredictable moments in daily life, like reaching for a shelf, turning quickly, or stepping off a curb. The more you practice, the more your body learns to respond with steadiness instead of panic. And now that you have discovered all 7 moves, it is time to see how they come together to protect your independence for years to come. Today you have seen how 7 simple moves can bring strength, balance, and confidence back to your legs after 70. None of them require a gym or expensive equipment. Just a few minutes each day and the belief that it is never too late to grow stronger. Remember, it is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Each time you practice, you are investing in your independence and in the freedom to keep enjoying life's moments without fear. If this video has inspired you, subscribe to Dr. Morrison's channel so you do not miss more tips to protect your health and independence. Your journey matters, and I will be here to guide you every step of the way.